weed out all the nonsense so you guys don't have to. 30 minutes or less. Why? Because anything longer than that's probably just BS anyways. Today is April 29th, 2026. It's Wednesday, hump day, you guys. And it's plus 4 degrees Celsius in southwestern Manitoba. That's 39.2 degrees Fahrenheit to you guys down in the States. And let's get into some I find disturbing news, and I don't know why the media is not covering this right now, but this is going to be a big, big, big mess up on this company's part. So, the PS5 30-day digital rights material issue is confirmed by PlayStation support. Sony denies all claims of its new policy change. PlayStation support has seemingly confirmed that the PS5 digital games now have a 30-day online check-in period. So you don't use it, you lose it. So digital games now have, yeah, that 30-day check-in. According to reports, the new PS5 titles brought after April 2026 will now crash and become unplayable if you do not connect to the internet. However, Sony is denying these new policies and won't even confirm that it's a mistake or not. So I don't know. Sony's trying to keep this under their hat, just like every other company right now. They're gonna nickel and dime us together or to death right now over little things. Now automotive companies right now are talking about paying a subscription fee to just be able to hook your phone up to the stereo and your GPS from your phone to your car, which is insane. Like, so, with a screenshot that it surfaced online, Sony's closest reputable or uh, Sony, sorry, yeah, they're trying to rebuke these claims, saying yes, as follows. At this time, we are currently no requirements for players to re authenticate their digital purchases every 30 days. If you have bought the digital game uh, in late March, you will still be able to access and play your games normally, even after the 30-day lapse. But what Sony is saying here right now is, yeah, games purchased before April will not be covered under this. But anyone who's purchasing online games, like digital copies of video games through Sony or PlayStation right now, those games are gonna be no good unless you have them hooked up to the internet. So that's pretty messed up. I know I had some issues with Xbox, and you know what? Gaming platforms and other platforms are going to keep doing stuff like this. We're just going to get apped to death and nickel and dime to death when it comes to stuff like this. Like, they're pretty much being held hostage for products that were already purchased. So, yeah, let's get down into the States here, and that's worldwide. That's worldwide, you guys. That's not just Canada and the US. This digital digital rights material nonsense that Sony's now saying. Well, sorry, they're denying that they're saying it in more or less words. They're confirming it. It's funny that Sony's saying no, and then the directors at PlayStation are saying, yeah, well, it's happening. So you guys can go look that up. There's a tag there and a listing from what Sony or what PlayStation has to say about this, and Sony's kind of still staying in the dark about this, which I understand. Like, I can't believe they didn't even give anybody a notice about this. Or I don't think people would have ever purchased digital copies. Hard copies are the way to go. They're there in your hand. It's like having money in your hand instead of walking around with a debit card. It's like, oh, I got to check my bank account to see how much is in there. Well, if you carry cash, you know how much is on you. And then over to the States, Maryland, the state of Maryland has become the first state in the U.S. to ban surveillance pricing in grocery stores. Maryland's law bans grocers and third party delivery services from using personal data to set higher prices. Governor Westmore, the governor signed, yeah, Westmore, the governor signed the measure into law yesterday, Tuesday, at the time when technology can predict what we need when we need it and when we'll pay for it. Uh, also, and then also at this time, we're watching how big companies are then using analytics against us to make record-breaking profits. Maryland is not pushing back; they're pushing forward to protect its people. Like this is great that Maryland. Some people in the states are starting to realize this digital pricing is not good. Like, why should me walking to one product, why should I pay less than somebody else or vice versa? Like, this makes no sense. Like, it's like, oh, okay, you have like a health monitor on your phone right now. You're a little bit overweight. Now those little like Christie's cookies you want are going to cost you twice as much, and then purchasing certain times it's products certain at certain times of the day. Like a lot of people are complaining right now, they're doing online purchases after midnight and getting charged a surcharge because it's past a certain time of day. But yet say if you order online in the morning, or when the stores are less busy, the products are cheaper. So shout out to Maryland. I hope a lot of other states start bringing into laws like this. Canada, I know in Manitoba, they're starting to discuss this right now. There's no real, like, anything actually happening, but it is being brought up and discussed. And there seems to be a lot of, like, people starting to speak up, but we need more people to speak up about this when it comes to this price fixing, this digital price fixing that they're doing right now. And then over to China, China's state refineries could restart their fuel exports coming up here soon. It'll just be diesel and gas as Beijing is starting to realize that they have an abundance of leftover diesel and gas right now in their reserves. So instead of putting their reserves, more oil back into the reserves, they're thinking of, hey, let's just start getting this product out right now. And this is a direct result of what's happening in Iran. But is this going to make anything? Is this going to drop fuel costs? I don't see this. I don't see fuel costs going to be dropping in the next couple years. Tell you the truth, I don't see oil prices dropping until Trump's gone. And he says, yeah, just wait a little bit longer, wait a little bit longer. I don't think people can wait anymore right now. And you know what? He had a game plan going into this conflict. Well, he doesn't have a game plan coming out of it now. And he should have had a better game plan. Like thought this whole thing of taking over Venezuela would kind of cover like the need for oil and gas, which it hasn't because it comes down to a global market share, which really needs to be changed. So even if China's going to start producing, dumping out more oil for other countries to start, taking advantage of, it's not going to change the market the way it is right now. So everyone, still hold on. We're in for one hell of a ride right now, and I don't think anyone has any answers to this. Hey, thanks there, Cam. And over to Mexico, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has announced yesterday that a ruling, or has announced yesterday a ruling that federal work projects that use steel will have to start buying their steel directly from Mexico, as attempts to kind of kibosh some of these tariffs and some of these taxes that are being implemented on American steel. It's just not feasible for Mexico to be doing this, and you know I'm surprised she didn't do projects like this already. You're building government projects using foreign steel. I don't know, it just, does that make sense to anybody? You think you'd be using products from your own country right now, just because it would be more feasible. And then how much cheaper, are you going to be anyways, just using your steel instead of having to worry about US prices? And this is even before tariffs and all the taxes added on top of that. And then back over to China again. Chinese scientists are moving into technology that converts greenhouse gases into aviation fuel out of a laboratory and are working forward to a large scale production of this. The ACS Catalyst, a flagship in the field focused on turning carbon dioxide directly into a long chain chemical that can be made into jet fuel. This process resembles running a combustion engine backwards, where the waste gas meets water, and then recreation reassembles the molecules into an energy dense liquid fuel. For years, this chemical process has been held back by two major obstacles: the carbon chain struggling to grow, and then the ability to target the most valuable fuel from that. So it seems like they have this like kind of under control now. They seem to have, they want to start expanding this technology. But will are we going to see this? You know, once they actually start getting this technology out, normally when something's too good to be true, it kind of gets buried under the rug and hidden by the governments. So China, there's a lot of new technology coming out of China right now, and it's just, will the Chinese government allow us to, take a look at it and maybe take advantage of some of this, or is China just going to hold this under their cap and use it to their benefit? But even technology like this that comes into the United States, like I said, if it's too good to be true, it normally gets buried. Like the guy who created the car that runs on water, it runs on water. And I'm not talking about a boat. It literally converts water into hydrogen. And he was seamlessly just a basic combustion engine with a few modifications to do that. So a lot of technology like that, it just gets buried. So it's nice to see people doing this technology, but it'd be like nice to see like what happens after it reaches its completion. Oh, and then over the US again, Trump is lining up new import taxes to replace the tariffs that the Supreme Court has rejected. The administration is working on a more durable tariffs that would be harder to be removed by lawmakers in states, as the president wants to shore up its protection or protectionist wall around the American economy. But the issue is the people within those walls are paying the price with these tariffs as well, these tariffs and taxes. It's not just countries that are giving products into the United States, it's Americans also trying to get products out of the United States. Like, still, the farmers, soybean farmers, corn farmers, uh, ranches, all having major problems right now just trying to get product out. And with like these looming taxes and these tariffs, it might come to a point right now, if Trump is really serious about enacting like more restricted and durable tariffs, we might be stuck with these for the foreseeable future if he keeps pushing these a lot harder. So we're all hooped here. We're all hooped. And really, you could always blame just the one guy, but really, you know, a lot of people did vote for Trump in the first place. Like, I have no problems with him, like, the first time he was around in office. But, like, what the hell happened since then? Like, it's like, this isn't the same person. And a lot of people are saying that right now. This isn't the person I voted for. This isn't the person we seen, like, 4 or 5 years ago. And what happened to that person? So a lot of people asking themselves that right now, and it has been brought up in other news broadcasts too. Like, this isn't the, and a lot of people who supported like Alex Jones, and I'm not a big supporter of Alex Jones, but a lot of these people that did back Trump right now are now sitting there like in the dust. They, like, Trump wants nothing to do with him at all. Hey, how's it going? I'm just ending up the news here right now. So yeah, that's the news for today. News stripped down 30 minutes or less. Why? Because anything longer than that's probably just BS anyways. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe. I'm here Monday to Friday, 4 to 4:30 p.m. Central Time. And let's end everything off on things that happened today in history. April 29th, 1864, the Battle of Gapa, where 1,700 British soldiers suffered one of their worst defeats by only 230 New Zealand Maori warriors. Yeah, having your ass kicked. Well, it's just gang fight right there. And then those Maui warriors, yeah, they don't stop nothing. Like I wouldn't want to be. Some of the greatest like wrestlers of all time have been from like New Zealand and have that Maori blood in them, which kind of makes them good like WWE, World Wrestling Federation, good wrestlers. And then April 29th, 1872, Jesse James gang robs a Kentucky bank of $1,500. Wow. So what would $1,500 be worth in today's money? Be worth around $41,000 split between him and his gang. So I thought it would be worth more than that. I was thinking maybe more like 120 grand, but really, even back in the day, 1,500 bucks to rob a bank, and then you got to share that with somebody. Imagine doing that nowadays. Yeah, good luck. If anyone even carries cash anymore. And then in this day, April 29th, 1916, the Irish Republicans abandoned their post office in Dublin and surrender, ending the Easter Rising issue that they had there. That was quite a conflict. The IRA and the British government going at it, people killing each other on both sides. And that was today was the day that most of that conflict ended, but there was still a lot of conflict going on after that as well. So well, even still today there's a lot of conflict, and it wasn't the IRA back then, but another form of it. Just I'm just being general when I say that. And then April 29th, 1945, the U.S. Army frees 31,601 people from the Dachau Nazi concentration camp in Germany. Dachau, yeah, that was quite the camp. I was going to look up and see actually how many people went through Dachau, but. And it's funny that it says it didn't say Jews on here; it said people. And you got to remember, some of these people, it wasn't just Jews in these concentration camps. There's just people, enemies of the government as well, and enemies of the people, so they call, or just unwanted people. And April 29th, 1970, the U.S. and South Vietnam forces joined the US and South Vietnam forces joined forces in an insurrection in Cambodia to further expand the war in Vietnam. And then in 1975, same day, the U.S. began evacuating its citizens from Saigon, bringing the U.S. involvement in Vietnam to an end. So only 5 years after that, the U.S. is invading, and then yeah, let's get the hell out of here now. But yeah, that was just one war. A lot of people think that never should have got, and there was no reason for us to get involved in the first place. It was like, oh, the Red Army, you got to start fighting communism. Well, you know what? Vietnam really wasn't doing much to the U.S. in the first place, so why did we even get involved? And then April 29th, 1990, wrecking cranes start beginning to tear down the Berlin Wall in Germany there. Yeah, it was pretty significant. A lot of changes. The fall of the Soviet Union and the fall of the Berlin Wall, now equally keeping Berlin instead of divided as a communist on one side and, like, what would you call it? Patriots, colonialism. I don't know what you'd call the other side, because a lot of sides all had a little bit of say on what happened on the other side of the wall. Meanwhile, Russia had full control of the other side, and it was set in stone. Communism, that's it. But when it came to the other side, it's like, what the hell are we? A lot of people confused in Germany, especially in Berlin at that time. And then 1991, a cyclone strikes Bangladesh, killing 139,000 people and then leaving 10 million people homeless. That was one hell of a cyclone. Like, major devastation. And the worst part is, when it hit, it already hit like a very, very poor, impoverished area of Bangladesh in the first place. And so, like, really, nobody had any shelter. Nobody had bomb shelters, and the construction and stuff of homes in these areas. It was. is just a powder keg of a cyclone that just destroyed the country. 1997, April 29th, Chemical Weapons Convention of 1993 comes into force, outlawing the production, stockpile, and chemical weapons used in warfare. So yeah, that only took how many years? Three, four, five, six. Took 4 years after having all these people discuss this, having sit downs and big meetings like from country to country, even the UN getting involved in this. Took 4 years to ban chemical weapons and the production. But now we have biochemical weapons. So does that fall under that right now? Because they're obviously using bio warfare on us right now. So that's probably thrown out the window. Yeah, sorry, chemical weapons, those are bad, but biochemical weapons, those are good. And then there's some farmers right now, they're stating that they're finding wood ticks out in fields that never had found before, and boxes of them, just random stray boxes. Could be dropped by drones, aircraft, other thing, but with the way things are coming with this new digital meat processing and lab grown meat, that could be an alternative source to this virus that you can get from these ticks that make you allergic to red meats. So it could be one of these big pushes to start making us sick, so we start have to eating lab-based foods. Pretty disgusting. And today, April 29th, 1967, Aretha Franklin released her single Respect. Can I get a little respect? Little. Bueller, 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 can I get a little respect here? Hit the like button. Show me some respect. And yeah, sub too, please. Hit the like button. Respect. Yeah, and then go back and listen to some of Aretha Franklin's classics. Some of the best. I still go back and listen to a lot of Aretha Franklin stuff. Good old classic time. When music was music. Like there's no editing. You like no effects and stuff like that. Love music like that. Then speaking of music, today in 1933, April 29th, Willie Nelson is turning 93. Famous country musician. Been smoking pot since the day he was born. And still kicking. Still rocking and rolling, that guy. Yeah, what a guy. And then April 29th, 1954, Jerry Seinfeld is turning 72 years old. Multi-millionaire. I think he's up into the billions now when it comes to his wealth. Kind of helps that he sold some of his car collection off that he had, and some of those cars were running in the tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars per car, especially some of those very rare Porsches he had. And then yeah, even that Cayman, not the Cayman, the Carrera GT, I believe he has one. I think the listing price for one of those right now is averaging around $10 million plus, if you can find one. And apparently, you can't even find tires for the car. They're specifically designed for that car. But people have found ways around putting new tires on Bugatti wheels. So. And then April 29th, 1963 to 1951, William Rudolph Hearst. He was born today and he was 88 years old when he passed. William Rudolph Hearst. He was one of the major newspaper distributors throughout the United States. Started getting into news, radio, and television in his later days, but that's where he made his fortune. I believe he also got into railroads and some mines as well. So, very wealthy guy. When you control the media, you control the world. And Rudolph Hearst definitely is one of those people who's on the top of that list for sure, that had some major control over the people. On April 29th, 1957, Daniel Day Lewis is turning 69 today. And Michelle Pfeiffer, she was born in 1958. She's turning 68 years old today. And April 29th, 1970, Uma Thurma was born, and she is turning 56 today. So yeah, that's it for the news today, you guys. If you're just tuning in, please go back and listen to what I said there first about PlayStation and Sony, because that is definitely something that needs to be brought up. And I don't know why the other news media outlets aren't talking about this. Just big corporations starting to nickel and dime us even more and more. And if you're imagine purchasing a game right now, what's a video game worth to purchase? Around 56 to $65 per game. So if you're doing a digital copy of these games, you're paying for it. And now you say if you don't hook it up to the internet, or if you don't log in every 30 days into their website, that your game is going to be obsolete. Like, you won't be able to play it. It'll start crashing on you. Then what did you pay for? What are we paying for? And there's also some big news about some of these gaming companies right now. They're looking for new workers, new programmers, and stuff, and they're starting to really step away from using AI technology to kind of keep that workforce up and going. Because there could be a lot of people in the video game industry very, very worried about their jobs, but it seems like some of these big computer game companies are starting to take notice and starting to make some changes, and hopefully we see some legislation really come into play that's going to start protecting the people, so we have jobs to go to, good jobs to go to, and don't ever have to worry about getting laid off or fired because of a computer. So yeah, that's what I have to say today for you guys. You guys, if I don't see you guys tomorrow, have a great weekend. Everyone be nice, be kind. There's too much hatred in this world, and only one good person can help one struggling person at a time. But one angry and disgusting person can destroy 10 people at once. So always try and keep a happy thought in your head. And if you see something or hear something that you don't agree with, best thing to do, just walk away. Walk away. Don't start an argument about it, because most of the time, if you start an argument, you're fighting a losing battle already, and then you're just feeding into these people's agenda. So everyone, keep your eyes open. Don't listen to what the real media is telling you. And I'll be back for Thursday's show. So peace out. Love you all and spread the love. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow. And if not, you guys have a great weekend. Don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe too, please. News strip down. I'm out of here. Waka 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 away.